Greetings, fellow duplicants. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Volcanea, Episode 4, Filter the Germs. Am I a germphobe in real life? No, it's just germs can really like bring down your colony if you're, especially zombie germs, but germs in general can really bring down your colony and make everyone sick. And it becomes like a bit of a downward spiral if you don't control for it well. Keep on sweeping. Alright, kick cows are low, but it does look like the blossoms are going to be ready pretty soon. And I can just throw like an electric stove down once they are. Without a formal kitchen or anything like that. Oh! A sage hatchling egg. Interesting. Just a random mutation. Neat. Could it have been the pitcher pump? Yes, it was the pitcher pump. I hadn't deselected the polluted water, and I think the wash basin had its first dump, and it dumped the water where it shouldn't have, because I just hadn't thought of it in time. So we infected our own water, which I should have been able to avoid, but I didn't. So we just got brute force refinement, which allows us to like crush rocks into like, you know, refined metals. What else to do here? Decontamination wouldn't be bad for the deodorizer, because I think we have pockets of odorous oxygen. Can you force mutations? There are ways to encourage mutations, and you'll have to do the wiki in it, because it gets a little complicated, but there's certain factors that allow you to encourage it. Oh, here we go. We have... all of these are... okay, so they're all set to auto-harvest. I think because we're low on food, I'm going to set them as a 9. But we have got the blossoms. And I'll set up the stove for it. So we should see our K-Cows climbing much, much, much higher up than they were before. So at this point, I can just allow all liquids to be dumped here. This can just be like a liquid dump area. It's already ruined, so might as well, right? Oh, power. I feel bad for Badger, who's going to be running on that treadmill forever now. Until we get coal power going. So, here we go. Gristleberries. And we'll just cook them up. We'll cook them up until we have, like, 8. We don't have anyone that can grill. Because, of course, we don't. Well, we could just eat them raw. As you can see, they still count for our K-Cows. Just be better if we grilled them. Is the pump in the polluted water not a problem? Not yet, because the polluted water is only here. So the hydroponic farm isn't being fed the polluted water section yet. But eventually I'm going to want to fix that. Just I don't need to right now. Well, this is a... I guess? A little shine nymph. Didn't really want any of them. Okay, this is nearly tidied up and ready to go, which is good. There was an option to reject all, yeah. Oh, the shine nymph went straight into the, That's fine. The shine nymph went straight into the farm, which is kind of fun. Not that I'm going to turn off my other light source. Alright, another high priority sweeping, just so I can even see what's going on in there, to start to refrigerate the bristleberries so it's not ruined or wasted. Kind of important. There we go. So now we have them in the refrigerator. I also got rid of the ration box. There's a ration box. The ration box can, well, I don't know if that's a game mechanic anymore. It used to be that you could put it in a carbon dioxide environment and have it preserved, but I don't think that's how that meta no longer exists as far as I know. So the other thing I wanted to do here is use some of the water that we have to create a water lock here. Well, yeah, okay. And let's put a gas pump in there with it just outgassing like adjacent. It doesn't really, it's not a big deal. Carbon dioxide doesn't work anymore. It needs to be deep frozen now. Yeah, I thought that was the case. I like vaguely remember that being in a patch note at some point. So I enabled the auto bottler here to enable auto bottle, so it will grab water from the pump and dump it into this bottle emptier, filling this up and then creating a liquid barrier between these two sections eventually. And this is very thin carbon dioxide gas, so there's not a lot of gas to be moved. Decontamination got done. I'll just put a deodorizer in the bathroom. Cool. One next to the compost pile. Other research. I think I'm going to actually leave research alone for a bit and just work on water filtration. Hey, Dave, thank you for the resub. So once the water creates a barrier, we're going to want to turn off the bottle emptier to conserve our own water. And I am not going to want to turn this pump on until the water lock is done, because there's no point. We'll just be moving air in like an inefficient circuit. So not too much more water is going to be needed for that. Doesn't air filters need power now? These... They might. I don't know. I haven't played in a year. Yes, they do. I'll get them wired. Yep, and I'm out of metal ore. The millwood up here, I'm just going to start to auto-harvest for some freebie food, because they're wild crops. They don't cost me anything. It's telling me that I'm not making enough oxygen. Some of that is just because the carbon dioxide is becoming dense, so these oxygen diffusers can only diffuse oxygen to a certain pressure, and they're now competing with the carbon dioxide. So I'll want to start to carbon dioxide skim once I have water filtration set up, so that we depressurize the amount of carbon dioxide and then increase the amount of, breathability. A future task. Okay, so this obviously is going to need a tile underneath it. There we go. Almost have all the water. This swept up. And the water lock's done. So let's disable auto bottle and not let any water in there anymore. So this is a hard lock where these two atmospheres are now separated by water. And unless the water like boils off or freezes, that's not going to change. So we can now also enable the pump, although the pump doesn't have cabling yet, it doesn't have wires, but enable the pump so that once this is wired up, it will pump all the carbon dioxide out, turning it into a vacuum, readying it for me to import chlorine. So then the next step would be for me to create a water lock over here, and then for me to pump this chlorine into this void to make it a chlorinated environment. There's other alternatives that you could do for that, which would be bleach stone, which outgasses to chlorine, but I don't see any bleach stone, so we're going to have to use pumps, I think. The high priority sweep stuff is done. Once we have water filtration set up, I can also retool the bathroom to use showers and toilets rather than outhouses and wash basins, which would be very much in my own advantage. The deodorizers are now working. That will help to keep the compost from being stinky. Won't they exhale CO2 in a vacuum? Yeah, if you leave your dupes in there for a long time, sure. It doesn't need to be fully chlorinated, doesn't need to be perfect. What will end up happening if it's high pressure chlorine is there will be enough chlorine gas in there so that, whatever CO2 is in here will just be displaced into one tiny little corner and be, of no consequence. And you can keep skimming for it if you want. Can you prioritize the duplicants with specific tasks? Yes. Yep. That you can. So my duplicants need to use the bathroom, so I gave them a little downtime at the start of the day. Don't sweep the Germy water. I'm not sweeping the mop task wasn't Germy. All right, there we go. This is pulling the carbon dioxide out. So this is sand. That's going to be a little annoying to avoid. So maybe down like this. Water lock somewhere around there. Accessing this chlorine. Storage is just about full. I'm actually going to get rid of this basin. I don't think I'm going to use it before I get the next tier up, which is a sink. So then the next thing we want is to have a water intake, right, for polluted water. So let's go with a water sieve, and I will put it here. I'm trying to think if this is a bad idea. So the white part intakes polluted water, and the green part outputs clean water, but clean water could still be germy. So this is like the first step of water filtration, but it doesn't need to go into a chlorinated environment. More printables. Fungal spores, that would be our first. Supply, research, decorate. Dr. Ranch. Okay, yep, fungal spore it is. Probably sit there for time immemorial. Maybe we'll start a fungal spore farm at some point, but pretty low priority. So the water sieve then will plumb out from the exit will be not polluted water, but potentially germy water. So then this potentially germy water will have to then travel to the chlorinated area, awaiting chlorination in a liquid reservoir. And generally, the way you want this to do it is you want the water to cycle around the reservoir continually in sort of a loop, and you test it, and then once it's germ-free, then you let it into your water supply. And there's a whole bunch of different ways to do this, but, you know, that would be the TLDR. So we... Oh, hey, another cool steam vent. So is that, what, a second one? Yep. Nice. That's a lot of cool steam vents. And I'm just digging over here for the iron because we're going to need it for all this tasks. Oh. Power's out. Keeping the gas pumps and the liquid pumps on is kind of expensive, especially when you rely on someone running on the manual generator. Very inefficient. Luckily, the Shine Nymph was keeping some of the bristle blossoms growing throughout the night. Key cows are back down, but the bristle blossoms are nearing 60% already. Alright, so we got a water sieve. Need to address the food shortage a little bit due to our lack of cooking. Guess I could make meal lice. Well, we don't really have a lot of meal wood anyway. It's not going to immediately help me. There's some muck down there that I could, like, dig for, but it's probably not worth it. There's some up here as well. Chimic, you leveled up. So crop tending is here. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll start working towards it. Wouldn't hurt. So the carbon dioxide is extraordinarily thin where Fangface is working. Oh, I got an achievement of outdoor renovations. Construct a building outside the initial starting biome. So that's down here. This is a new biome. And we're going to allow for auto-bottling water dumped here. And not everything on the other side of this, well, actually, I'm just going to wait for the water to pile up. We're going to create a little liquid lock here. Doesn't need to be perfect. We just need most of the chlorine, most of the atmosphere to be chlorine. So, Fangface, I might not actually give you astronomy just yet. I'll probably work your way towards suit wearing. So there's almost nothing gas in, almost no gas in here. If I go to the materials overlay for gas, it is 100% vacuum now. All right, so deconstruct the gas pump. Don't really need it anymore. For the ventilation. And then what it's going to look like is going to be a gas vent here that is fed by the chlorine over here. So we'll want a wire going... Oh, maybe not like that. It's too high up. Won't be able to reach it. But a wire kind of like going over here. And this is all sort of a one-off. Once we have enough chlorine, you know, we can turn it off. But a wire going over there, pumping this chlorine gas into this storage area. And I can also gas filter it, just in case we don't get just chlorine. So I'll set one up where the white is the intake. So I'm gonna cut this a little bit. We probably don't need to do this. It's probably unnecessary, but I'll do it anyway. So the white is the intake, the yellow is the filtered output, and the green in this case is waste. So we can set it up to only accept chlorine so that we kind of know what we're getting. In case there's, in case we like tap carbon dioxide or something like that. Again, you know, your duplicants are likely to breathe in this room at some point. Introducing some carbon dioxide, but that'll help a little bit. Back to the schedule. I don't think any of them need urgent bathroom time in the start of the day, so get rid of that. How much water was down here? So we're 3 more trips for water lock. Got it. So one more dumping and it will be waterlocked, and then we'll be good for some basic filtration. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of bleach down here. Not a whole lot of it, not very easy to get to without tapping the cool steam vent, but there was a little. Okay. Waterlock established. So much work for one bathroom accident. Well, you're going to want to probably set up, like, polluted and germy water filtration no matter what. It's not about, like, a bathroom accident. It's like all colonies are going to need this eventually, so you might as well get it before you need it, before you run out of, like, fresh water. But yeah, it does feel like that a bit. So that vent probably can't be accessible. Put a ladder in there. And then for all of these construction projects, I'll set them up as a 6, slightly above the lowest priority. So this gas filter, we're going to want it to filter chlorine. So chlorine will go out the orange or the yellow. Everything else goes out the green. So if we take a look at it again, orange will filter the chlorine into our chlorine chamber, and then everything else, all the waste gases, go out into the out this vent. Glitch, you leveled up again. Yeah, I'll go super hard, dude. And I got a little colony achievement for that. So it'll look something like this with a gas pump here. Pipes connecting to it. Wires connecting to it. And then this gas pump is only really has chlorine over there, so should work. Set that up to 6s. Nice. I'm wondering if there's any obvious bleach stone that I, like, ignored. So there's natural gas over here, which is interesting. I don't know what's producing that, or if it was just, like, random map generation. Chlorine here, but it's intermixed with some hydrogen. Doesn't look like there's really bleach stone up in that way anyway. So there was barely any bleach stone at all. So I think even if I was to go back in time, I would still have done it this way. The other way is to, like, move bleach stone, which is a stone that outgasses the bleach, and then put it in a container in the room. But there's just a tiny bit of bleach stone around here, and it's kind of hard to get to. All right, so taking a look, the green is the chlorine going through the pump, going through the ventilation system, and it should be filtered properly into our water purification chamber, just like that. So now this is a chlorinated environment. Swiggity swooty! Got clean water for your booty. So how this helps is water that is stored in a liquid reservoir will be all the germs will get killed off over time when it's sitting in a liquid reservoir. So get a few more of those and have them run to one another. It's going to kind of suck to actually work in this room now that it's chlorinated, but you know, that's not really my problem. And then once it's done, what we could do is we can have it loop back in case it needs another loop. I don't know if it's going to need another loop. It might not. but we'll liquid bridge this anyway to allow for another loop. So the idea here is that your water, if it's clean, can be valved into your liquid store, or your water storage. So Nox, you're saying after 3 tanks I won't even need a loop? Okay, I'm just going to build the loop just in case anyway, but I'm going to have a liquid valve here. Yeah, I'm going to have a liquid valve here. I'm trying to remember which valves allow for logic, though. Give me 1 second. I know you in chat could probably answer that, but yeah, I think this liquid valve is logic enabled, right? So I'm going to have a liquid valve controlled by automation logic. So if I want that at all, I'm going to need the rock crusher, which is going to be very power intensive and resource intensive, but get a little bit of refined copper for it. So we'll get that built and this built. And that also is probably going to mean I'm going to need even more copper. So let's get some. Badger, you earned another point. Improved carry. And we have a printable. Oh. Oh boy. Well, I do have an arbor seed, and now I have a pipsqueak, but I don't think I'm really ready to, like, transition over to that just yet. For the veterans in the chat that know what I'm talking about. So, I'm just gonna go with Joya seeds. And I'm not concerned about a cook yet, either. We are eating raw bristleberry, and we're keeping up with our K-cows for now. So that should be okay. Oh, so if this is out of power, what even happens? It just sits there? Guess so. They're like, terrible meal. It's like, yeah, well, you know, deal with it. Glitch is getting a little stressed. I think that's probably just supping wet and hungry. Yep. That'll do it. You know, and being subjected to, like, chlorine. Nothing like some mustard gas in the morning. That's probably enough chlorine. So I am going to deconstruct the gas pump. Or, you know, I'll just disable it. I don't need to actually break it down in case we want more chlorine at some point. Just so it's not drawing power. There we go. And then we could do the same with the gas filter once all the chlorine goes through the system. Done. Alright, back to the plumbing. So a liquid shutoff is what I really want. That allows for the automation, but that's going to require refined metals, which requires the rock crusher. So we'll get the rock crusher and the reservoirs. I'm just waiting on that to be built. You think I might need another battery? Yeah, I probably do need another battery, or alternatively, at some point, either go coal or get a power plant to be able to tune them up. But I'm just going to work on the goal that we all have voted on, because that's what I always do, even to my own detriment. It's like, yeah, I can acknowledge it's like something we need, but if it ain't the goal, it ain't the goal. Alright, there's Reservoir 2. Glitch is like, yeah. Major eye irritation. It's chilly. I'm not breathing. This sucks. Acknowledged. Poor Glitch. I know, right? Brutal little workhorse. What else can I power off? So there's a bunch of automation stuff. What am I currently researching right now? Oh, I like misclicked and I'm like researching stuff I don't even want. So let's go ahead and simply turn these things off because I don't need them at the moment. Good. That will save some power. Let's take a look at the power grid. The sieve I'm not really using, so I can disable that as well. Although I don't believe it doesn't use power unless it's on. But I'm definitely not using it at the moment. The last reservoir is done. We almost have all the pipes ready. And the rock crusher had all the copper delivered, so it should be ready pretty soon too. I like how the dupes are like, yeah, we're never going to get to that. As long as I don't need metal, I guess it doesn't matter. All right, rock crusher. Copper to copper ore. Let's do that 5 times. I'm going to set it on a 9 and probably regret setting it on a 9. But that will allow us to get refined metal for the first time, and I can make some more complex machinery or whatever you want to call with it. That will help. So I think Fang Face is coming over to crush. Punch that button. Keep slamming that button. That sounds... out of context, kind of sounds wrong. There we go. Now we should have enough for a liquid shutoff valve. I'm trying to remember, like, how to align this so it works properly. But whatever, well, I'm just going to plop it down. So liquid shutoff valve, and then when that valve is enabled, it will drip water into our liquid vent reservoir thing. And then when it's closed, it will go for the loop back. So the loop back will be a liquid bridge like this instead. And I'm sure I'm making mistakes, but I'll fix them as I go. So when the valve is open... I don't know if this will work, but when the valve is open, hopefully it will drip water here, and when it's closed, it will, like, loop back for another cycle. And I probably am going to want another liquid shut-off here, but I can just have it be a traditional valve. And this is just so that I can shut down the system if I want. So I'm going to break a hole here and set up a old-school valve. I just want a digital valve in here because I don't want people to have to run into the chlorinated, horrible environment regularly, because that's not going to keep them happy. And then here's a signal switch for the digital valve that's in there. So I can have the signal switch. I'll just put it here with a little bit of signal cabling. And then that there is also going to require power, because everything always does. So hook that up as well. Why do I need the bridge? For like a directionality. These liquid bridges only let water in one way, so I don't want it to flow out the wrong way. So I don't want yeah, I don't want it to flow backwards. Rornlaw, thank you for the resub. And I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes here because I haven't built one of these in like a year and a half. So if we need to fix it, we'll fix it. Oh, they're getting the copper now. Good. Good, good. What is this? There's something there. No, maybe not. That's just neutronium? Is that right? No, no, okay, here's something there. I just had it on construction at all. This is a hydrogen vent. Oh, cool. That's going to be useful. So we got a hydrogen vent, infectious polluted oxygen vent. I don't know if... I mean, we have the cool steam. But I think just those four are what I've found so far. But hydrogen vent, that's good to know. Very good to know. Well, luckily for Glitch, he's almost done working in that horrible environment. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Volcanea, which originally streamed live on Twitch June 15th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow duplicants.